Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I am so glad I have a chance to speak with my nurse leaders. I am Paige Castaneda, your CNO, and I wanted to have this opportunity to speak to you about a new initiative that will be rolling out tomorrow. Every hospital employee will receive an email tomorrow about this initiative, but I wanted to speak with you in advance and give you a chance to ask questions and feel prepared for tomorrow. So, the new initiative. Every quarter, we do audits on our electronic financial systems. And this quarter, we did that on our charge capture system. And we all know what charge capture is, right? It takes charges that are automatically entered and puts them onto claims for reimbursement. Everything should go smoothly. Well, unfortunately, there's a software error, and that software error was undetected for a long time. What does that translate to? That translates to a lot of lost revenue. Yes, we have fixed that software error and we are trying to recoup some of the lost revenue that we can. But unfortunately, there's a significant amount of revenue that we cannot recoup. So that puts us in a budget shortfall. And we all know what that means. That means we're not making budget. And if we don't make budget, that makes next year very hard. We don't get any of the equipment that we've asked for under capital budgets. It makes staffing insecure, and it also makes it difficult for new areas of growth to occur because we're still dealing with the repercussions from the previous year. So we know why budget's important, and we know how we got here, but let's talk about how we're going to fix it. So the executive team has looked at everything and we've decided labor. Labor is the way we are going to try to overcome this budget shortfall and really make our goal for this year for our budget. Now I know as nursing leaders that makes us very nervous. The first thing we think of is great. They're going to adjust my nursing ratios, my staff is going to be unhappy, everybody's going to have to work harder, and patient care is going to suffer. All nurses think that way. But I want to challenge you to think that is not our priority. Our priority is to make sure we stay current with our mission. And that means we provide quality care to the patients that we serve in this community. And we want to make sure our patient satisfaction remains high, and we want our employee satisfaction to stay high. If you're not happy, we know that translates into patient satisfaction as well. So we want to look at this as a team effort. All of us together of how we are going to look at labor, really streamline it to save some costs so we can recoup some of the revenue we lost. So let's talk about where we're going to start. First, we're going to start with contract labor. We all know it's very expensive, and we need to try to cut out as much of it as we possibly can. And we're really going to look at that and try to do that. Why don't we take the opportunity of using our dedicated staff versus using contract labor? So that's where we're going to start first. Then we're going to look at some staffing matrix. Are there ways where we can cross-utilize staff? If there is, great. Then we're going to try to do that. Is there flexible scheduling that we could start doing? Now, I'm not just talking about flexing when things are, census is low or, census is high and we need people to come and go. I'm talking about possibly new scheduling for nurses that is flexible, that might have more nurses during peak times and not as many during non-peak times, but that would be altering schedules. We're looking at everything. Everything's on the table. We also are going to say, if you want to take a vacation, great, now's the time to do it. That is not mandatory. Everybody does not need to take a vacation, so I don't want staff or any of the nurse leaders to worry that mandatory vacation is coming, because it is not. In addition, we're also going to look at all the open jobs that we have that are currently posted. Do we need all those jobs? Some jobs, yes, we know for sure that they are critical roles and we cannot operate without them. But there's other jobs that maybe we can figure out a way to streamline or break up some of those job responsibilities, or maybe it's obsolete, we don't need it anymore. And if that's the case, we will eliminate that job. But every job will be vetted for productivity and necessity. And I think that will really help us as well. We will definitely hire positions if they are needed, not to work. We've discussed some of the new ways we are going to look at implementing this initiative, but we also want to reach out to you. We want to challenge our nurse leaders. We want to challenge all our staff to see if you can come up with new ideas that streamline processes. We know sometimes things are rolled out and people say, who came up with this idea? This isn't going to work. We want to avoid that. We don't have time to do some of the trial and error. Yes, are we going to try new ideas and will some of them fail? Yes. But let's try to limit that process as much as possible. And utilizing our frontline staff and our nurse leaders is the best way to go to ensure that the ideas that we push out are the best. So let's all work together as a team, because I know together as a team, we can shift the paradigm of making this a negative into a positive and look at this as an opportunity for us to come up with great ideas that will impact us and make us a stronger, leaner team and more efficient for the future. We know together we can be resilient and we can be brilliant all at the same time. So I'm hoping that this is a chance for all of us to really look at things, and this is from all the way at the top all the way to the bottom. There isn't a single department or organizational level that isn't impacted by this new initiative. And everybody needs to look at everything and really figure out a way to streamline things. Just because we've been doing something a certain way for a long period of time doesn't mean it's still the best way to do it. We have to think outside the box a little bit, and sometimes that's scary, and I know it can be scary. But one thing we know for sure, healthcare, there will always be change, and that is constant. And it will continue to be harder and harder for us to make budgets moving forward. So doing this in a way will actually make us a stronger team. Like I said, we'll be a stronger, leaner, more efficient team and better prepared for the future. So with that, are there any questions that I can answer for you? And I want you to really challenge yourselves to think of new ideas and to put a positive spin on this with your staff so that we can work as a team and make our goal for this year. And I want to thank you for joining me, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to be your leader.